Hello and welcome to 5 News. I'm Sian Williams. There's been a sharp rise in pupils sent home from school in England because of COVID. The latest figures show that more than 1/3 pupils, that's about 1 in 20, had to stay at home last week, mostly down to a suspected case in class. That is quadruple the figure a month before. The government has now signalled a shift away from its controversial isolation policy to more school testing. Our chief correspondent, Tessa Chapman, has the details. He was filmed being grabbed and jeered at in a London park. Police say they robustly warned the 2 men involved about their behaviour and recorded the incident as common assault. As our political editor Andy Bell reports, it's led to calls for public figures to be offered more security. Ministers are considering banning mobile phones in schools to help improve behaviour. Education. Now, you're probably aware that there's a football match on, and it's a big one. England-Germany kicked off a short time ago at Wembley Stadium, where 43,000 supporters have been allowed in. Another 20 million or so are watching at home, in pubs, perhaps in the odd office. What's at stake is lost on no one. In a moment, we'll get the latest from Wembley. First, though, Catherine Nash went to speak to fans, some with only a recent grasp of the history. The score, we'll bring it to you. Coming up on 5 News, we meet the supermarket worker. See you after the break. Welcome back. A police officer who was found guilty last week of the manslaughter of former footballer Dalian Atkinson has been sentenced to 8 years in jail. PC Benjamin Monk was the first officer for 30 years to be convicted in the crime in the course of their duty. Today, outside Birmingham Crown Court, Mr Atkinson's family said PC Monk had carried out a callous attack. Julian Drucker is at the court for us. Julian, just talk us through what happened today. Assaults on shop workers should be treated as seriously as those on emergency workers, and offenders should be prosecuted under a dedicated new law. That's the finding of a group of MPs who say retail staff have faced a shocking increase in abuse and attacks, especially during the pandemic, as Peter Lane reports. People in Australia are being urged to get their COVID jabs as outbreaks cause concern across the country. There have been long... Britney Spears' sister has spoken out in support of the star over her long-running fight to get back control of her life. The singer is subject to restrictions which allows her father to control many of her personal and financial decisions. She told a court it amounted to abuse. Now, Jamie Lynn Spears says she's so proud of her sister, as Danny Sinha reports. Finally, a car given to Princess Diana as an engagement present has sold at auction. The third £7,000. Before we go, Catherine Jones, what's coming up tonight?
Not sure that's a bargain shine anyway.
See you a little bit later. That's it for now, though. We've got the weather for you next, and do join me tomorrow. See you then, 5 o'clock. Bye-bye.